Hello everyone and welcome to another video of the Sky channel. So in this video we are going to learn about what are the best ants to use on each of the days of the Pangolin. That's going to include both pay to win ants as well as the free to play options, and of course you're going to be seeing Blue Ant, the leader of the ants Wonderland, do the Pangolin and show you the pay to win options in action, and you can see how much Blue Ant and DK Ant score in the Pangolin. I know that's something a lot of you said that they wanted to see. Well, here you will be able to see it. For the free to play options, I'm going to be giving them on my own as I don't buy paid ants. So I'll be sharing with you what are the ants that I use to score high in Pangolin without any pay to win ants. Before we get to it, let's talk about the name of the series. You might have seen Whale Secrets as the name before the name of the video itself. Well, that name was chosen by you guys. As you saw, there was a vote in our Discord, and Whale Secrets was the name that was picked by most of you. 19 votes. And if you look at option B, which is Secrets of Whales, that also got a pretty high number of votes. So clearly everyone loves secrets. Well, we're gonna make this name work, and hopefully you love this video and this will be a successful series. Now, of course, I do want to give a big thank you to Blue Ant for recording this. You have no idea. She sent me over an hour worth of video to show you all, and as you can imagine, she is quite a busy person. So taking out a lot of time for us to show you how she does Pangolin is something I really appreciate. So in the comments below, please leave a few thank you notes for Blue Ant so she knows that her time was appreciated and she can give us more advice over time. If the series is successful as is, we'll have a bunch of other whales giving us advice as well on different topics that they might have expertise in. So this can be a nice way for you to communicate with your favorite whales. Without further ado, let's get started with the video. The first day is the Guardian Day. You can see the unit that Blue Ant is going to assign. So she's going to be using the deadleaf mantis as the primary insect, even though it is level 92 compared to her primary insect, which is the Guardian one, which is level 100. And remember, it's Guardian Day today. That being said, if you're doing Pangolin, you care about skill attack and skill damage, and hence the deadleaf mantis with the gladiator mantis helper is the best pay to win option for you to use. Of course, she's also going to make sure that she has the best buddy assigned to that to maximize on her damage potential. When it comes to the ants, you can see that Hairy Panther is in row 1, Proata is in row 2, and Iron Elephant is in row 3. These are the top 3 ant choices that Blue Ant is going to be using for the Pangolin in the first day. Now, what if you were a free-to-play player? Well, first of all, your insect is going to be any universal insect that you have. Ideally, you want any insect that you choose to be startup to 9-star, because that's when your insects start giving skill attack, and of course you need skill attack for Pangolin. So a 9-star and above universal insect is ideal for Pangolin. When it comes to the ants, you want to have Hairy Panther, which is a very nice barren land guardian ant. So hopefully you do have that, because that is available for free, and it's been a while for barren land to be out unless you're in a newer server. Proata is also sort of a free to play option as well. I have it. I never paid a single penny for it because I got it for free in the special events, the one that gives you Proata fragments of about 50 completely free. So 4 events and you can get a Proata. So I would consider Proata as a free to play option, and once you do have that, even at 0-star, it is quite effective in doing damage to the Pangolin. Now in the first row, you probably want to be using gold armor, and you have to try to make sure that gold armor does have its awakening unlocked, because that's where it starts getting its true potential. So if you're a free to play player, this is probably what your unit is going to look like. Of course, you can replace a deadleaf mantis with whatever universal insect that you have available, but this can give you pretty nice results in Pangolin on the Guardian Day. Now, I do want to mention that before I published this video, the Leaf Devourer's Awakening was unlocked. Now, I did get it, but it's at level 1, and I definitely haven't tested it, and neither has Blue Ant, because Pangolin hasn't happened yet. So I just wanted to put a note here. I don't know how this is going to change the Pangolin meta for Guardians. If I find out, I may make another video on it. But currently, we don't know as we didn't get a chance to test it. As you can see, when it comes to mutations, Prada was given the attack mutation and Iron Elephant was given the skill attack mutation. As you can imagine, attack and skill attack are very important to increase your damage to the Pangolin. And you can also see that the priority is being given to the Iron Elephant because the Iron Elephant is very, very effective in dealing a lot of damage to pretty much everything. And that's why the skill attack goes to the Iron Elephant, because skill attack has a higher impact than regular attack when it comes to dealing damage. Now, when it comes to reforms, you definitely want to be assigning the Pangolin damage reform to the Guardians on Guardian Day. And of course, you want to maximize it to the maximum possible level that you can. Now, this may not seem much, but it makes a huge difference in your damage if you use it versus if you're not using it. So make sure that you're assigning this reform to the correct class so that you can do a lot more damage to the Pangolin and break your records. You'll also notice the rare reforms of attack and skill attack are assigned to Guardians on Guardian Day. This of course is just for pay to win players, but if you are trying to maximize the amount of damage that you do, you have to make sure that you're using the attack and special and skill attack rare reforms in the correct classes on each day. You also want to make sure that your class is Raider and you have all of the Guardian and skill attack features activated. Now you also definitely want to use the attack item to increase your attack by 20%. With all of that set up, it's time to start attacking the Pangolins, and you can see BlueAnt is right next to the Pangolin and she is ready to begin the 15 attacks. And of course, I'm not going to bore you through the whole 15 attacks, but I will show you certain reports that will show you how the ants are performing in this Pangolin day. So let's take a look at this report. 5.7 billion damage, and let's jump right to it and see which ants are performing well. Well, Hairy Panther 1.1 billion damage, really nice of course. Then there's Prada 1.14 billion damage, amazing. And then you can see Iron Elephant standing there with 3 billion damage, and that's simply because Iron Elephant is a really powerful ant, both in PvP and in PvE. It is a huge damage dealer. You can think of it like the Lathy Sniffer of Guardians, but now of course Lathy Sniffer is outdated. But imagine when Lathy Sniffer came out, it was the must-have ant for shooters, and that's basically what the Iron Elephant is for Guardians right now. Okay, fast forward a few more attacks so that we can see how it's coming along in the next few reports. Okay, we have a pretty nice report, 6.3 billion damage. So let's take a look at the ants that performed really well. Hairy Panther this time 1.5 billion damage. It even outperformed Prada, which has 1.14 billion damage in this particular attack. And then Iron Elephant 3.1 billion damage. So Iron Elephant is consistently outperforming the other ants, especially in the high scoring reports. Okay, we got another nice report. This one 6.19 billion damage. So let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, Hairy Panther 1.4 billion damage, not bad at all. This time Prada actually did 1.47 billion damage, and Iron Elephant 2.69 billion damage. So both Hairy Panther and Prada seem to have performed fairly well. Iron Elephant's performance wasn't as good as it was in the previous reports, but still pretty good. And while we're at it, do check out the number of diamonds that BlueAnt has. Whoa, that is a lot. And I keep on running out of diamonds on a weekly basis. So 40.5 million diamonds. Wow, what are we going to use those diamonds for? Okay, so all of the attacks are done, and this is the report that is the best from the day. 6.33 million damage, and this is one of the ones that we saw before. And in case you're curious to know what her stats are, well, let's take a quick look at it. And if you look at row 3, we're looking at almost 3,640% attack, 3,214% defense, almost 279% skill attack, 206.38% skill defense, about 1360% health, and 985 combat speed. Those are the stats you need to have along with these ants if you want to score over 6 billion damage on the pangolin. And that wraps up Guardian Day. And this is what the rankings look like at the end of the day. So Blue Ant managed to get almost 76 million damage on the pangolin right on day 1. And of course, you can see that DK Ant managed to get a little bit higher than that, 76.3 million, which of course is no surprise because Blue Ant doesn't use her main insect, which is level 100. The insect that she's using for Pangolin is a little lower than her most buffed up insect. And that's not just the levels, there's also the Talent's Ascent that uses creature ambers, which increases the damage as well. And I'm pretty sure that Blue Ant prioritized ascending her main insect more than she did with the mantis that she's using for Pangolin. But in case you're curious on what ants he was using, well, he's using the exact same thing, just that he had ordered them a little differently. Prada was at the first row, Hairy Panther was in the second row, and Iron Elephant was in the third row. So in this report here, you can see that he's in row 1 because he's the one who made the rally, and Blue Ant is in row 2. So they're both using the same ants to achieve such high scores. Alright, and that completes the Guardian Day, and we're in a good position to move over to the Shooter Day. So it's time to change the ants. So Blue Ant is using Crimson Pearl in row 1, Emerald Jewel Ant in row 2, and Saharan Silver Ant in row 3. The insect, of course, remains the same, Deadleaf Mantis, with the Gladiator Mantis as a helper, and of course the buddy is going to be the best buddy that's available so that you can maximize damage. And if you're a free-to-play player and don't have Crimson Pearl or Emerald Jewel Ant, you'd be wanting to use the same gold armor with its awakening unlocked in row 1. In row 2, you can use Reapmaster and do try to have that awakening unlocked as well. And in row 3, you can use Saharan Silver Ant because that is available for free as well. For the insect, use any universal insect that you have available if you're not a shooter main. If you're a shooter main and have a strong shooter insect as your main insect, then perhaps it's best if you use that one. I have a Deadleaf Mantis, which is a shooter / universal, so for me that is the best option. But if I didn't, I'd be using the best shooter or universal insect that I have available. Ideally a shooter insect because shooter insects are better when it comes to skill attack and skill damage. But let's say I don't have that. In that case, I'll stick with a universal insect as long as it is high star enough. A similar note here, just like the Leaf Devourer one, before I published this video, the Wise Berserker Awakening was also unlocked. Again, it's at level 1. I just managed to unlock it and I haven't been able to test it because, well, the Pangolin hasn't started yet. So it's unclear how this is going to change the meta for the Pangolin on Shooter Day. My assumption, and I could be wrong, it definitely isn't replacing the Emerald Jewel Ant, and it's probably not replacing the Saharan Silver Ant either, but it could possibly make its way into the free-to-play meta. That being said, untested, haven't seen it in action, so I can't really speak on how good it will actually do. If I find out, I may make another video on it, but right now it's too new, so we don't know yet. When it comes to the mutations, the Saharan Silver Ant gets the skill attack mutation, and the Emerald Jewel Ant gets the attack mutation. Now, when it comes to reforms, you do want to make sure you move the skill attack and attack rare reforms to shooters because it's the shooter day in Pangolin. And of course, you want to assign the damage to Pangolin to the shooters as well. You also definitely want to use the attack item, which gives you 20% attack bonus. Of course, you also want to make sure that you are using the shooter ant skill attack in your class features in the raider class. So let's start attacking the Pangolin on Shooter Day. And as the attacks go ahead, I will show you certain reports that allow you to see how each of the ants are performing on this particular day. Alright, so here's a report, 5.75 billion damage to the Pangolin, and you can see Crimson Pearl did 1.2 billion damage, Emerald Jewel Ant did almost 2.37 billion damage, while Saharan Silver Ant did about 1.57. Quite impressive. Emerald Jewel Ant actually out-damaged the Saharan Silver Ant in this report. That just goes to show how powerful Emerald Jewel Ant is. Okay, let's let a few more attacks go and then we can take a look at another report. Okay, let's take a look at this one. 5.23 billion damage, of which Crimson Pearl did 1.38 billion damage. Emerald Jewel Ant did almost 2 billion, so 1.97 billion damage, while Saharan Silver Ant did 1.33 billion damage. Again, Emerald Jewel Ant outscored the Saharan Silver Ant in this report as well. Okay, let's continue with a few more attacks and then we can take a look at another report. And here's a really good one, 6.5 billion damage. And let's take a look at the superstars of this report. Crimson Pearl, 1.36 billion damage. Emerald Jewel Ant, 2.3 billion damage. Again, always impressive. And this time Saharan actually went above and managed to do 2.3 billion damage as well. Very impressive. And that is a pretty solid attack. Of course, you must be curious to know the stats, and here they are. So if you take a look at row 2, we're talking 3,747% attack, almost 3,330% defense, 264% skill attack, 206% skill defense, and 1306% health. Combat speed 985, so really high stats. And now the shooter ant day is complete, and that 6.5 billion damage was the highest scoring attack for that day. And you can see the final scores. Blue Ant is now at number 1 with 149.2 million damage in the first 2 days. And DK Ant right behind her with 149.1 million damage in the first 2 days. And as you can see, both of them were using the exact same units for the shooter day as well. And that covers the shooter day. And it's a perfect time to move over to the carrier day. And let's start with the unit. And here it is. The insect, the same, Deadleaf Mantis with Gladiator Helper, along with the best possible buddy that you have available. And when it comes to the ants, Golden Crystal in row 1, LB, which is the heavy hitter of carriers if you remember, in row 2, and row 3 has Crimson Pearl. Now, some of you may be wondering, why isn't the jungle carrier ant in there? And the reason is that Blue Ant believes that Golden Crystal actually outperforms the jungle carrier ant when it comes to Pangolin. And if you do go over the skills of both ants, it does seem to suggest that the jungle carrier ant would probably be better in PvP than Golden Crystal. But when it comes to PvE, Golden Crystal might have a slight advantage when it comes to dealing damage. But regardless of that, shortly before I was recording this video, there was an announcement that Golden Crystal is getting its awakening. So that should put Golden Crystal at an even higher damage dealing potential than the carrier jungle ant anyway. So you definitely want to be picking this unit exactly the way as Blue Ant made it, because it's only going to get stronger after the awakening comes out. So Golden Crystal, LB, and then Crimson Pearl. But if you don't have the paid ants, then you want to use Gold Armor, again with its awakening unlocked, Golden Crystal, hopefully with its awakening if it's out yet, and the Jungle Carrier Ant CR. For the insect, you can use any universal insect that you have at the highest star, or of course if you are a carrier main and your highest star insect is a carrier insect that does seem to have a high skill attack and a good ability, then you can use the carrier insect instead. And for those of you who might be curious and in newer servers and may not have the Golden Crystal's Awakening unlocked, this is what the Golden Crystal Awakening looks like. So it definitely is going to increase the damage done to Pangolin, which is amazing, as of course Golden Crystal is being used in both free-to-play and pay-to-win meta for Pangolin. When it comes to mutations, you can see that the Crimson Pearl was given the skill attack mutation and the LB was given the attack mutation. And of course, you want to make sure that you're using the carrier ant skill attack features, which you can see Blue Ant is now assigning so that she can maximize her damage on this particular day. When it comes to reforms, Blue Ant will be moving the skill attack and attack rare reforms to carriers, and of course also assign the damage dealt to Pangolin regular reform to carriers as well. Don't forget the attack buff for your hill as well. And we are ready to do the fighting. And as good reports come by, we're going to review them to see which ants are performing the best. And here's one, 6.8 billion damage. In here, Golden Crystal did 1.6 billion damage, LB did 1.9 billion damage, and Crimson Pearl 2.8 billion damage. So Crimson Pearl did amazing. Okay, let's move along and hopefully we'll get a few other interesting reports to review. And here's another one, 7 billion damage. And let's take a look. Golden Crystal, 1.6 billion damage. LB, 1.7 billion damage. And wow, Crimson Pearl, 3.2 billion damage. So you can see Crimson Pearl really performs well when it comes to carriers. And it does seem to be outperforming both of the other ants, particularly in the high damage reports. So if you have Crimson Pearl, definitely worth using it on carrier day. As you can see here, DK Ant and Blue Ant were again using the same ants because that is currently the meta when it comes to carrier days Pangolin. And of course, their stats. Let's take a look at the bottom row. 34, 66% attack, 32, 50% defense, 278% skill attack, 206% skill defense, and 1357% health. Combat speed, 985. On the carrier ants that do give combat speed, like the ones in row 1 and row 2, the combat speed is 1045. And the 7 billion damage was the highest damage report on carrier day. And that does cover all 3 days of the Pangolin. And as you can see here, the final scores are pretty amazing. Blue Ant is ranking 1 with 234 million points in the Pangolin, which is completely outstanding. DK Ant's at number 2 with another crazy score of 223 million points. And now you know how Blue Ant gets such high scores in the Pangolin, and you can implement it as well. And since I still have you here, I do want you to know that you can get between 10 to 35% bonus on in-game purchases in the Ants Underground Kingdom. The steps are quite simple. All you need to do is follow the video that I'm linking to this video, and you can also click that button that's going to appear at the top right of your screen to go to that video. The latest promo code is going to be in the name of that video, so you will know which promo code to use to get these amazing bonuses. And as the promo code changes, I'll update the title of that video. A lot of other people are taking advantage of this. Feel free to check it out. If you have any questions, you can join our Discord and I can guide you through the process as well. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please comment below and thank Blue Ant for all of her help in getting all this information to everyone. Really appreciate all her time. Do also check out some of the other videos that we have on our channel. And of course, like the video, share it with your friends so that it gets a little bit more traction and can help a lot more people, and subscribe to our channel so you can get updated whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.